Her palm was flat against his lower back, her fingers curling just above the waistband. Suta's throat tightened, his face flushed with a shock that bordered on fear.
You're so tense here. I can feel everything you hide.
It began 3 weeks earlier, when he just wanted to breathe. Suta, 26, a salaryman crushed under 12-hour shifts, had forgotten what sleep felt like. His therapist, Natsumi, had one last suggestion before he broke completely.
Yoga. There's a studio called Harmony. It might help you reconnect with your body.
Stretching with strangers. Sounds like a fresh kind of humiliation.
But that evening, staring at his ceiling, he booked a group class. Harmony Studio Group Yoga, Thursday 7 p.m., booking confirmed. He didn't know yet that Akari had been waiting for someone exactly like him. Thursday arrived with a knot in his stomach he couldn't untie. Inside, the air smelled of sandalwood. 8 mats. 8 strangers.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Akari. Let's breathe together.
Maybe this won't be so bad. She seems gentle.
For the next hour, he stretched muscles he'd forgotten existed. But near the end, Akari paused behind him, her hand resting on his shoulder a beat longer than necessary.
Your body is holding onto a lot of stress. Don't worry, I can help.
She said that to everyone, right?
He returned the next week, eager for the only calm he'd found in months. But this time, the room was empty. Only one mat, and Akari, waiting.
It looks like it's just us today. Shall we begin?
Just us? Last week the room was full.
A few people canceled. Don't worry, we can still practice.
He nodded, telling himself one-on-one instruction might be better.
Let's start with a standing forward fold. Exhale.
He focused on his breath, trying to settle into the familiar rhythm. Then her hands found his shoulders again.
You carry so much here, just like last week.
Her touch is precise, like she's reading a map only she can see.
Her fingers traced the line of his spine, pausing at the curve.
This is still yoga, right?
Breathe out. Let me take the weight.
He obeyed, but every nerve was electric. For the rest of the hour, she was attentive to every muscle.
You did well today. Your body is starting to trust me.
Trust. Is that what this is?
He walked out into the cool evening, skin still tingling.
No explanation for the empty class. Maybe it really was random.
He pushed the unease aside. Next week, the class would be full again. That night, he slept better than he had in months. Reminder, group yoga, Thursday 7 p.m. See you there.
Maybe next time, I won't be the only one.
But the unease had already curled around his chest, waiting. 1 week later, Sota pushed through the studio door, breath held. The room was empty again. One mat, Akari, already waiting.
A scheduling error this time. The system canceled everyone except you.
First a few cancellations, now a system error?
He forced a nod, muscles already tensing for the session ahead.
Don't worry, I'll make sure you get the attention you need.
Once again, her hands roamed his back without hesitation.
You hold your breath when I touch here. Why?
How does she notice that? No instructor ever has.
The session felt longer than the last. Every adjustment deliberate.
Relax into it. I won't let you fall.
But that's what scares me.
When it ended, she pressed her palm flat against his lower back one last time.
See you next Thursday? Your body will miss me if you don't come.
Suta walked out, a chill crawling up his neck despite the warm evening. Notification. Class cancelled. Scheduling error. All others automatically refunded.
2 weeks in a row. An accident doesn't repeat like this.
That night, he didn't sleep. He replayed every touch, every whisper.
Is she manipulating the bookings? But why me?
By morning, a decision had crystallized. He would switch studios. Transfer request. Denied. Please contact studio for details.
She's not just an instructor. She's something else.
For the third Thursday in a row, Suta stood outside Harmony Studio, heart hammering. He walked straight to the front desk this time, not the mat.
Why does every class only have me? This can't be a coincidence.
The receptionist barely looked up. Our booking system has been unstable. We apologize.
Is there a problem, Suda? These glitches happen. But I'm so glad you came again. Let me make it up to you.
The session began like the others. Her hands guiding, rearranging. When she pressed into his right shoulder, he winced. An old ache flared, a fall from a warehouse shelf years ago.
I never told her about that fall. Not a word.
That shoulder. It's been years since the fall, hasn't it? I can feel the scar tissue. Bodies don't lie. They remember everything.
Suda couldn't move. How did she know? The rest of the hour passed in a blur. He followed mechanically, mind racing. When it finally ended, he nearly ran out the door. Notification. Class cancelled. All others refunded. We hope to see you next week.
She knows my medical history. Things I haven't even told Natsumi.
At home, he sat in the dark, the pieces refusing to align.
There's no rational explanation, unless someone told her.
He opened his laptop, searching for any record of Harmony Studio beyond the surface. But the internet was silent. No complaints, no scandals, just a pristine reputation.
I'm not going back. I'll find another way to deal with the stress.
He closed the laptop with a snap, but the echo of her voice lingered in the silence. He spent the morning at his desk, searching for any studio that would accept him.
There has to be one. Anywhere.
Registration failed. Your account is restricted. Contact Harmony Studio.
They're holding me hostage.
Before he could curse, his phone pulsed with an unknown call. On Akari's screen, his name glowed. She had been waiting. Suda answered from his cubicle, voice barely steady.
Suda, I'm so sorry to intrude, but I'm concerned. The studio has been empty without you. Your progress is unique.
She used the same soothing tone, but now it felt like a net pulling tighter.
I want to offer you a private membership. No cost. Your case demands individual attention.
He could almost feel her hands on his back again, mapping his spine. The memory of her touch made him shiver in his chair.
Let me help you, Suta. Say yes.
If I refuse, what then? She knows everything.
He mumbled an agreement, hung up, and walked out of the office in a daze. That evening, he sat on his bed, a confirmation email glaring back.
Private sessions. I've just signed myself over to her.
Welcome, private member. Thursday, 7 p.m. See you then, Suta. Flyers bearing Akari's serene face seemed to litter every corner of his mind. Thursday arrived like a scheduled appointment with dread. He pushed open the studio door, empty. Matt waiting, and Akari already smiling. The private session ended with her fingers just a second too long on his wrist. Before he could process, a message from Akari lit up the screen. Try tilting your pelvis forward in child's pose. It'll release the lower back.
She's texting me now? Like a personal coach?
But the texts kept coming, mornings, nights, even during his lunch break. His body remembered her hands on his back, and the phone buzzed again. You haven't slept again. Your shoulders will be concrete by morning.
How does she know I've been staring at the ceiling all night?
He threw the phone onto his bed, but it buzzed mercilessly. The warehouse fall. 3 years ago. The scar tissue is pulling your neck out of alignment.
I never told her about the warehouse. No one outside my family knows.
The studio, once a refuge, now felt like a trap designed just for him. He paced his apartment, the walls closing in.
If I block her, she'll just find another way. She's always 3 steps ahead.
His phone buzzed again, A picture of a yoga pose with a red circle around his hip. You're compensating with your left leg. Trust me. I can see it.
There's no running from this. I have to face her. In person.
The next morning, he sat in his office cubicle, drafting a message. Before he could finish, Akari's name appeared on the screen. She was calling. He silenced it. Then, with shaking thumbs, he sent his own message. We need to talk. No more games. Thursday, 7 p.m., just us. A reply came instantly, as if she'd been waiting for this exact moment. Of course, Suta. I've been waiting for you to ask. See you then. Thursday evening, the studio felt colder than before.
How do you know about my shoulder injury? I never mentioned it.
I'm a practitioner, Suta. I can feel imbalances you're not even aware of.
That's not an answer. That's a rebrand of stalking.
The body holds trauma. It's my job to read it.
Stop. No more guided intuition. Why am I really the only one here?
Because you need me, Suta. More than a group class could ever provide.
Her voice was syrup, but the aftertaste was bitter.
I'm not crazy. I know this is wrong.
He broke her gaze, searching the room for anything solid to hold on to. On a small shelf by the back office, a white rectangle peeked from under flyers. A business card, slightly worn, but unmistakable. He stepped closer, heart thudding.
Natsumi. My therapist.
Natsumi Takahashi, licensed psychotherapist. The same number he dialed a dozen times. He slid it into his palm before Akari turned back. The rest of the session blurred. His mind was on the card ticking in his pocket. In his room, he laid the card on his desk and stared. He checked his phone, same contact, same appointment history.
Why would a yoga instructor have this? Unless they're connected.
A cold thread pulled tighter around his chest.
What else has she been told?
The next afternoon, Sota pushed through Natsumi's office door without bothering to knock. On her desk, a framed photograph smiled up at him. Natsumi and Akari, arms around each other. Sisters. The connection hit him like a cold palm on his spine.
Soda? What are you doing here? I wasn't expecting you.
You referred me to your sister's studio? How long have you been feeding her my sessions?
Please, sit down. I can explain everything if you just listen.
The photos seemed to mock him now, two smiling faces above the desk, like a conspiracy.
No. Explain now. This whole thing, it's been a setup from the very beginning.
It's not a setup. It's a program. A wellness guardian program. For isolated clients.
Her voice cracked, the professional mask slipping inch by inch.
Akari takes them as a guardian. Strictly monitored. I swear to you.
Monitored? The woman knows things I haven't even told you, and I'm supposed to believe any of this is ethical?
She helps them, Suda. She's never crossed the line. She gives them care.
The line's been obliterated. She knows my injuries, my sleep, my thoughts.
He stood up, the business card falling from his pocket onto the floor between them.
Overcommitted. That's the polite word for obsession.
Wait, Suda. If you leave now, she'll only...
Only what? Come after me. She already has, and you opened the door.
The studio's empty mat flashed in his mind, waiting like a patient trap. He walked out into the evening, the pieces refusing to form a coherent picture.
I'm sorry. I never meant for this to happen.
But the threads of the scheme were already tightening around him, and he couldn't see the scissors. He paused with his hand on the doorframe, her footsteps closing in.
Please, Sota. Just 5 minutes. There's so much you don't know.
They sat opposite each other again, the photograph still smiling between them.
Akari joined the program to heal herself. She was a client once. After a patient she bonded with left, she almost broke. Guiding others became her lifeline.
So I'm her next emotional crutch? That doesn't make it right.
I'm not asking you to excuse her, but if you abandon the sessions completely, she'll spiral. The program is all she has. Without it, she'll feel useless. And that's dangerous for everyone.
So if I leave, she collapses, and I'm the villain. Convenient trap.
He stared at the business card in his hand, tracing Natsumi's name with his thumb. On his laptop, he pulled up the studio's reviews, all 5 stars, all vague praise. A new message from Akari glowed on his phone. I hope our talk went well. I'm here for you.
She knows I confronted Natsumi. Of course she does.
The image of the empty studio, the single mat, the waiting smile, it all tightened around his ribs. He could almost feel her palm on his lower back, steady and possessive. He took a breath, typed a reply before he could second guess. I'll see you Thursday. Same time. He sent the words like signing a contract. Her reply was almost instant, as if she'd been waiting with her phone in her palm. I knew you'd stay. We have so much more work to do together.
Work. That's one word for it.
He set the phone down, the screen dark, and felt the bars of his own cage settle around him.
I'll play along, but I'm not surrendering.
The next session, her hands didn't just correct, they explored.
This isn't adjustment. This is memorizing me.
You told Natsumi you felt invisible at work. Your posture screams it.
Suda froze. That phrase was straight from his therapy file.
Stop. You're not just reading my body, you're reading my sessions.
Natsumi and I just want the best for you. Your healing is a collaborative effort.
Collaborative? They've been dissecting my mind together.
Without me, your shoulder would have calcified. Your sleep would have shattered completely. I held you together.
Held wasn't the right word. Caged, maybe.
This isn't healing. It's a violation. I'm done. Don't contact me again.
He grabbed his bag and walked out, not looking back at the map. Outside, the evening air did nothing to cool the fire in his chest.
Natsumi fed her everything. My sessions were scripts for her hands.
He pulled out his phone, thumb hovering over Akari's contact. Blocked. Every number, every channel. No more. For a moment, silence. No buzzing, no gentle voice in his ear. He scrolled through the studio reviews one last time, but now they read like warnings. A notification from the app. Your private membership requires a new session.
Not anymore. I'm out.
He set the phone aside and closed his eyes, savoring the first real quiet in weeks. But a memory of her palm on his lower back pulsed beneath his skin. He shook it off. The door was closed. She couldn't reach him. But the silence was too clean, too sudden, like the pause before a storm. 2 days later, Suta spotted Akari beneath his fire escape, just watching. She didn't approach, just offered a small wave and disappeared into the dusk. The next morning, a note was taped to his door. I know you didn't sleep again.
She's been here. She's always been here.
Later that day, he saw her on the street near his office, serene as a ghost.
Stop following me! This ends now!
You're still so tense. Let me help, Sota. You need me.
He wanted to push past her, but his legs locked. He retreated to the studio, desperate for an authority to intervene. At the reception desk, the manager smiled with Akari's own eyes. There's nothing we can do. Memberships are non-refundable. Her voice was honey-coated dismissal. The woman, her aunt, tapped the desk as if to say the conversation was over. Outside, the streetlights buzzed overhead as his options shriveled to one.
No police, no complaint form can touch her. This is mine to end.
His thumb found the blocked contacts list and hesitated.
If I can't run, I'll face her on my terms. One final session.
He unblocked her number just long enough to type a message. Thursday, 7 p.m. Just us. After this, you let me go. He hit send before his courage bled out. The reply came instantly, as if she'd been waiting with the conversation open. I knew you'd call. I'll see you then, Suta. I've missed your body. He let the phone fall to the bed, the words searing into his mind. Thursday loomed like an execution date. Late Wednesday night, a call came. Natsumi's name on the screen, unprompted.
I can't keep quiet anymore. Please, meet me before tomorrow.
They met in her office an hour later, the framed photo now face down on the desk.
She was supposed to refer you back after 8 weeks. I checked the log, she never did. She said she lost your file, but no one else's was missing.
She kept me on purpose. This was never a program. It was a cage.
I'm scared of what she'll do if you confront her, but you deserve the truth.
This is my ammunition. The rule she broke.
He stood, pocketing the crushed business card as if sealing a pact.
She lost my file. She broke their deal. I'll make her let go.
Thursday, 6:58 p.m. The studio door was unlocked, the mat already laid out. Akari stood in lotus, eyes closed, palms upturned, the image of tranquility.
The program requires you to refer clients back after 8 weeks. You lost my file.
Files get misplaced. The bond we have isn't about paperwork.
It's about boundaries you shattered. This ends tonight.
You're shaking. Let me.
Don't touch me. Again.
His voice cracked, but his feet didn't retreat. The mat lay between them like a battlefield.
You're scared because you care. But I'm not your enemy, Sota.
She's twisting it again. But I have the truth now.
He didn't run. He took a step forward instead, the business card a rectangle of fire in his pocket. The studio door clicked shut behind him. No more running.
This ends tonight. You call it a bond. I call it a crime.
Akari's smile didn't waver, but her eyes flickered, just once.
You kept my file. You lied to Natsumi. You're keeping me here.
She rose from the mat, fluid and unhurried, closing the distance he'd fought to keep.
I didn't lose it. I threw it away.
Her voice was honey, but the truth was a slow-acting poison.
Why would you?
Her hand lifted, palm open, and settled on his lower back. The same spot from that first session, the same possessive weight. His lungs seized, every instinct screamed, but his legs were concrete.
Therapy ends. I don't.
The words hung in the sandalwood air like a verdict.
You are mine to care for. Not a file, not a program, mine.
Her thumb traced a circle over his shirt, as if marking territory. He tried to form words, but only a choked breath escaped.
This is the trap. There was never a way out.
Her smile was the same as that first Thursday, but now he saw the bars behind it. She didn't move, didn't need to. The room was her web. The mat lay between them, but the distance had collapsed entirely. There was no authority to call, no door that would stay locked. And her palm was still there, a permanent claim on his spine.
She was right. It doesn't end.
He stumbled out of the studio into the indifferent night. His apartment door closed behind him with a hollow click.
She was right. No authorities, no barriers, just her hands.
He sat on the bed, the business card still crumpled in his pocket. The laptop remained shut. No more searches. His phone lit up on the nightstand, shattering the quiet. Notification. Private membership renewed. Next session Thursday, 7 p.m. Before he could even breathe, a second message blinked. Akari. See you Thursday. Your body already misses mine.
No escape. No one to believe me.
The city outside his window carried on, indifferent. But in the studio, a light was still on. The mat was already laid, waiting. Akari sat in lotus, phone in her lap, smiling at the sent message. No doubt, no guilt, just patient certainty. The phantom of her palm still ghosted Suta's lower back. He didn't block the number, He didn't turn off the phone. The phone buzzed once more, a calendar invite. He stared at it, immobile, until the screen dimmed. The mat, the studio, her hands, Thursday was inevitable. Somewhere, a flyer with her serene face seemed to flutter in an unfelt wind. And on the mat, the ghost of her last statement waited. Therapy ends. She doesn't.